So real quick, I just want to understand this. So all of you believe that patriarchy is on the decline. You think it's on the incline because you're saying that women are personifying patriarchal type behavior, and that perpetuates the patriarchy.
Yes, and women think that while they're personifying patriarchal behavior, that they're actually finding.
And can you give me
a
one
solution.
example so I know specifically what you mean when you say that?
Like
they're personifying?
OnlyFans, for example. OnlyFans, for example. Women want to be rich. They want to be as rich as a man.
I feel like you could go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, sure. So we want to be as rich as a man, right? We found something that will get us as rich as a man, which is OnlyFans. And so for us, it seems really simple. Just show my body, and I can have as much money as Myron.
I don't know about rich as a man, because I know many men that want to be rich,
yes,
even billionaires, and they don't even have.
But when women are talking about starting their
status
OnlyFans,
of financial.
So you're saying real quick. Women are sentient beings that are able to make their own decisions, right?
Yes.
Everyone.
So how would it be that her getting into porn is an extension of the patriarchy?
Well, because
if she makes that decision herself and she has autonomy to do so.
And you do have the autonomy to do so, but you can make a choice that is autonomous, that you are responsible for, and still understand the position that you were put in that pressured you to make that decision. That doesn't mean that it's anybody's fault.
No one put a gun to her head to say, "Do OnlyFans, bitch."
That's what I said.
She did it on her own volition.
That's what I said.
Yeah, bitch.
No, but you're saying it's because the patriarchy forced her to do it.
No, I think what she's saying is specifically that she understands the woman who is doing porn or OnlyFans understands the predicament that she's in, because obviously she knows that if she's getting on the internet and completely is showing off her body, possibly doing sexual activity on live on a camera, it's going to be on there forever. She automatically knows, specifically because we're in a patriarchal society, her worth as a woman is going to be devalued. But she still chooses to do that, online sexual.
So
but as a porn star, it's gonna be increased.
That's what she's
directly saying. Figure is gonna be increased.
When you said what can we do to bring men and women to the center of the table, I think we need to stop focusing on whose faults it is, because patriarchy is not the fault of men individually. We all participate in the system. That's what I'm trying to get to understand.
Question. What to you would it mean for the patriarchy to be dismantled? What does that look like?
So if we can come to the table and understand that we are all making decisions for survival, then I think that we can have a better place in the conversation. That we're all in the same position of survival.
But how does, we're talking about the structure of society, right? Between men and women.
Yeah.
So what would it look like for patriarchy to be eliminated in your view?
Man, that's a great question. I don't even know if I could picture what that would look like, honestly.
How would you solve the Rubik's Cube?
I could only
I've tried
picture
so hard. I can't even get the white strip.
All right, let me ask this then. Let me go around the table and ask this. Okay, so you guys all agree that, we're in a patriarchy and that it's less beneficial to women. Would you guys then agree that a matriarchy might be the solution? It might be better?
No.
Yes.
Run by women?
Yes.
Hold on, we'll start here.
Yeah, I think it should be a
matriarchy
equal,
run by women?
Yeah.
Equal?
I think, it should be equally, managed.
Well, that's not really possible. There's no such thing as equality when it comes to ruling class and power. There has to be one, So what would it be?
It could be possible.
It could be, Myron.
It definitely could be possible.
Okay. What about you?
Hey, listen.
I feel like it could be one or the other, but the benefits has to be
So
good.
which one would you think is better, a matriarchy or a patriarchy? If the patriarchy benefits women less.
Trump or Kamala?
No, don't. No,
I just don't support all of that. I think it should be equal, honestly. I don't
You
know.
also think it should be equal?
Yeah.
There's gotta be a balance.
What in life is equal?
Nothing's equal, but
why would you think that it's equal then?
Well, you did say in a perfect world, or hypothetically.
No. Listen, stay with this. What is equal in life? Nothing, right? So then you gotta choose one. Just choose one.
Yeah, if the patriarchy is bad, it
you had
doesn't
to
benefit
choose.
women. Which one would you pick then?
For a better world.
A matriarchy or a patriarchy? If you had to pick one. Not equal, pick one.
No patriarchy.
Okay, so the matriarchy for you. What about you?
Matriarchy.
Sorry, you can't do this.
I would say the patriarchy.
Arriba las mujeres.
Matrix.
Okay, what about you? Matriarchy?
I would 100% say a matriarchy. The reason being is in terms of understanding that if someone was from a repressed form of society for decades, I would say majority of centuries regarding, smaller seclusions of society, a patriarchy has been dominant. So this more repressed version of society is going to step up for minority women as well as all women in general. In terms of a matriarchy, if I'm being quite honest, I feel like in terms of war, in terms of violence, in terms of specific actions that we can do specifically in the United States to protect women's bodies and their choices, I would say a matriarchy would be 100% more safe for women living in the United States.
Okay. What about you?
I would agree with matriarchy too, just because also based from other places that have matriarchy in effect, it's like
Who has a matriarchy in effect?
England, like the Britain, their matriarchy.
The
Native American
The British are
tribes,
like
all Native
responsible for like
American
90% of the problems on planet Earth. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a great example for your case.
Native Americans, they also
The queen is a ceremonial position. It's not really a position.
No, it's fake.
It's the prime minister that
still
runs
she
the
doesn't
country.
have to take
Do you have any more examples? Because actually, I like that one.
Disney,
Any
bro.
more?
Disney, bro.
You can fuck up.
Yeah, because the queen, it's a ceremonial.
I think
She's the
another
queen.
example, but y'all don't.
Like I want to
That's
say
not a
I want to say matriarchy for sure
really
because I'm a mom and I have a son and I feel like if a woman would never, I don't think a woman would ever send her sons off to war. However, please don't kill me, women, for this. I just feel like in these days people can be bought. They could be puppets. They could be in position to be a face of something and people like telling them what to do behind closed doors. So I just don't know, honestly. I want it to be equal. You know, women and men should all be like, we're not equal in biology, we're different, but we should be equal in everything else. You know, I have a son, I'm pro-female, I'm like women empowerment. I come from a culture where we can't really do stuff. So I would say matriarchy, but again, in these days, it's not 100% real if it's not really like their feelings and what they want to do.
Interesting.
All right. What about you? A matriarchy or a patriarchy?
I think everything that these ladies said is great. I wish it was true, but realistically, I don't think the world is better off being ran by women.
Why not?
Damn, based.
Misogyny. Because women are emotional. They're not good at making decisions. Neither are the guys.
Hasn't worked out for us.
I mean, I think men are more decision makers, personally. So.
I would say in terms of emotional intelligence, I feel like women as a whole establish more emotional bonds with their female friends as well as other individuals. Whereas men, I feel like in terms of emotional intelligence, they're not necessarily pursuing, you know.
Can you define emotional intelligence for us real quick?
Well, I just feel like the world should be right on emotions.
Can you tell us what emotional
I think
intelligence
we
is?
have more common sense when it comes
Real
to
quick, real
making
quick.
like big decisions.
What does that mean?
than
Yeah, can you
men.
tell us just so we understand? Because we hear a lot of women use that
Emotional
term.
intelligence. What does that mean?
What is emotional
Sure.
intelligence?
Let's break it down to emotional regulation. You feel that you are upset.
I
right?
feel.
Right? You feel that you're upset.
Okay.
You feel it. Your adrenaline's up, your blood's pumping, your heart might be beating, and all that you know is that you're upset about that specific situation. But all you know is that you're upset. What's the deep-rooted cause as to why you're upset? What's actually causing you to become angry, to become out of your peace? Like, who's actually bringing you out of your peace, and why are they bringing you out of that peace? And why are they actually affecting your vibration as a whole?
So hold on. Do you think that things are getting better or worse for women right now?
Currently?
Yeah.
In the United States?
Like, are women improving or is it worse for them?
Women
We
are
have the
improving.
potential to be.
No, that's not what I asked. Is it getting better or worse for women right now?
For what? For
women.
what
Depends on what.
specifically? What
For
category?
the overall health and well-being of women, is it
Like
increasing
Roe
or
v. Wade?
decreasing?
I would say that
Whereas-
it's decreasing in this state.
Wait, hold on.
Of
This
time.
is the issue. I don't mean to trap you, but it's like this is why I want you to think about this. Weren't you one of the people that said that society is becoming less patriarchal?
Yes.
And simultaneously, life is getting worse for women, right?
I would say. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying this is your view. This is what you're saying.
100%, and I will stand on that. 100%,
Okay.
I will stand on that. But you didn't specifically ask
No,
about
I
in the
don't. By the way,
United States.
I don't mean to corner or use it as an own.
100%, I understand,
Yeah,
but I would say specifically in the United States, it's different than globally. I would say as a global perspective,
Stand on
100%, we're going more towards the matriarchy. But specifically in the United States, it differs.
Name a specific region or country in the world where you think it's becoming more matriarchal and it's better for women at the same time?
I would say definitely in Ireland and also in the UK. I would also say in different
Really,
places.
the UK?
I would say
In
specifically in
Which part?
Ireland.
Which part?
How is life getting better for women in Ireland and the UK in a way that's not for the United States?
Specifically because of their government and how it's established.
Okay, how is it getting better for women?
Don't they have social health care in Ireland?
They literally have free health
That's
care.
something that benefits both men and women.
It
and
does,
I, and I would
100%.
argue, but that has nothing to do with patriarchy or
When
matriarchy.
you're asking about
But
whether or not
you
it's
are
safer for
specifically
women
asking
now.
about a patriarchal view, and it's specifically in the
But-
United
but-
States,
but
a
fr- but-
patriarchal
but
view
free
is a
healthcare
man
is
making
not-
decisions about a female's body.
But
You
fr-
have no idea how
but
to
free
make a decision
healthcare-
about that.
Free health, fine, but free. We can get into that later. But free healthcare is not a matriarchal
Well,
policy.
but you said, are things getting better or
Well, can
worse
you
for
give
women? Are they
birth?
getting safer or
Yeah,
less
can you
safe
give
for
birth?
women? She's saying they're being, it's becoming safer worldwide
need free
because other
healthcare.
countries have better healthcare systems for women that in the U.S.
Sure.
we don't support.
So you're saying, that it's maybe unrelated to the fact that it's supposedly a matriarchy in Ireland, or is it related?
I wouldn't say
I would
it's
say- I
necessarily
would
a
say unrelated.
matriarchy, but
Okay.
I feel like it's getting to a point where it's balancing. It's not necessarily a full patriarchy, and it's not necessarily
so
a full
Ireland is
matriarchy.
becoming less patriarchal, and the United Kingdom, and things are getting better and improving for women.
I would say specifically in Ireland, I would also say in other different regions. Now, I would say specifically the countries that stick towards towards Western ideologies, especially in terms of conservatism. I would say that they're
I'll
more
tell you
lean
the general
towards that.
tendency for all Western countries in the world right now, though, is a few things. One of them is cutting benefits. So cutting benefits like healthcare and things like those are on the decline, right? People's health is getting much worse. Also, we're not even talking about people's mental health. Physically, people are less healthy.
Right.
We're talking about deindustrialization. People are losing the decent jobs they used to be able to rake in enough to support families. People are increasingly riddled with debt, enslaved by debt, and they literally have no prospects for the future. Their rents are going up, inflation's going up. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but we're also on the verge of World War III.
I do.
So I don't
Under
see,
a patriarchal society, we are on our way to war.
Sure,
But you said all of those are Western countries, correct? Those
Yeah,
are
but-
Western
but-
countries leaning towards that.
these are examples of a scenario where things are becoming less patriarchal, right?
I listen, specifically what I said in a global aspect. I said specifically in the United States,
Yeah.
right? There's still issues affecting women's rights and women's health, and specifically
How-
with
you know what?
westernized countries that they are not
Listen,
having the same effects of an equal
it's not
balance
my
of
intention.
matriarchy and patriarchy.
It's not my intention to embarrass you, but I just want to inform you about something, and I mean that. I'm
You
sincere.
tell me.
So, Europe actually, historically, before Roe v. Wade, had much more restrictive laws about abortion than the United States.
Okay.
Before Roe v. Wade, basically what we had were situations where some states, it was legal to have abortions at, 8-7 months, crazy stuff. In Europe, although abortion is allowed, they're actually much more restrictive, and it would be considered very conservative in the United States if we were to adopt most of European countries' laws and apply them here. So I don't know if you were aware of that, but it's like this idea that Europe is somehow inherently, more liberal on the abortion issue is a huge misconception.
The
actually.
abortion
Well, I don't
issue,
feel
no, but the
embarrassed
healthcare
because I
issue
never
is
said
bigger than
anything
abortion.
regarding abortion in terms of liberalism, specifically in Europe. I don't feel embarrassed about that, but I appreciate you informing me on the fact
Because
that
I
they
heard
are
you
more
mention Roe v.
conservative.
Wade as an example of how the United States is worse for women than in Europe.
I don't think I mentioned that.
Okay. Did you
And
mention?
the repeal of Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade obviously was a
Roe v.
monumental
Yeah.
repeal is-
The
Yeah.
repeal of it, yeah. So, what makes Europe specifically in terms of how does matriarchy in Europe benefit women more than it does in the United States?
But I don't think that anyone established a specific country except Ireland and partially some of the UK that's
Didn't you say
leaning
Western
more
countries
towards
or?
matriarchy. I
She
said
said
that the
that-
Western
yeah.
countries are more
All right.
affiliated with the patriarchal culture.
You think Western countries are more patriarchal than Eastern ones?
I would say honestly both have their fair share. Same in Korea, same as in China, same as
Actually,
in Japan.
yes, I would say in East Asian countries, matriarchy is more popular than in Western
But I would say
countries.
specifically in Korea, I would say
Yeah.
that's not the case. because in Korea it's actually more of a patriarchy, especially because there's high reports and accounts of violence against women, specifically in
So
Korea.
I just want to clarify something. Western countries are renowned around the world for having especially less patriarchal cultures than others, just in general. And I know I'm biased because I'm come from a Middle Eastern background, but it's like Western is much less traditional, much more liberal.
I
and much
100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
I don't know
but
if
at the same
I just
time-
haven't gotten sleep because I kind of feel like you're just like constantly saying the opposite of what you just said like 30 seconds
Well,
ago.
I just think that the bar is so
I don't know what's
low.
going
I think
on.
the bar is so low for the
Well, you're
standards
also
of caring
kind of a
for
moving
women.
target. You know, you go from talking about the U.S. to talking about Ireland to talking about.
I'm trying to get to where you're at. I'm trying to get to where
No,
you're
it's
at.
awesome. It's great to have someone come in and like deal
For the
with
first
for a
time.
bit for the first time and like let them just like see
the chaos.
Yeah. Sorry, continue on. This is just great for me to
It's
see.
a wide drink, honey.
No, I'm just saying. So here, because this is the point I'm trying to get at, basically. So we don't have to keep going in circles or whatever.
Wait, what was the question that you asked?
Basically, it's like I'll just tell you my view. You know, instead of asking you, I'll just tell you my view. I don't see how the modern countries, let's say developed countries, Western countries, let's just talk about America, are becoming more patriarchal. I mean, I think that's kind of ridiculous because, and here's why, because we are shifting more toward a system or a society where impersonal systems are dominating almost every aspect of life, where there's not necessarily an authoritative and responsible figure who's in charge. And this is not even just true at the level of households. It's also true at the level of workplaces, and it's also true, increasingly true at the level of how the government itself is run. So typically with patriarchy, you can attach authority to a face, someone who's at least accountable, who's at least responsible, a boss, right? We seem to be going in a direction where this strange and blind system, just money for money's own sake, we know the big data, the algorithms, whatever, it seems to be just kind of governing society autonomously, which is leading to a total breakdown and devastation of the traditional relationships of society, including that between men and women and the family. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's leading to the destruction of people's mental health, even to their physical health. I think it's leading to a widespread confusion, and it's stoking a lot of resentment by men against women and vice versa. And I don't think it's useful to trying to explain where we're at right now in terms of patriarchy or whatever. If anything, the opposite is happening. The opposite is happening. It's not that we're a patriarchy. It's that we're living in a society that seems to have been taken over, by a completely anti-human in general force, right? Which is neither good for men or women. But I will say something. Whoever's in charge of what's going on and is managing this self-destructive process really seems keen on attaching female faces to power, to this power in particular.